the better team won.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that the football power hour has started. Shout out to you, man, for joining me on another episode of What's Trending, where we precisely talk about what's trending in the world of football. We're going to talk about the bombshell that has dropped from the Beckham household. Yeah, Brooklyn Beckham, that firstborn, David Beckham and Victoria Beckham's firstborn, with an essay that we have to sort of unpack, because normally I wouldn't care about what's going on with the Beckhams, but there was a major bomba that could not be ignored. So yeah, I don't know what is going on with Sir Alex Ferguson's, like some of Sir Alex Ferguson's descendants, but damn, there's a lot of content creators that are making content or making the news for all the wrong reasons. Not all of them, but some of them. You know, earlier on we had Gary Neville, the flip flopper, who kept on saying, "Oh, play a back three," and then all of a sudden he's like, "Nah, back three is not the Man United way. We want to go back to the Man United way." And then he flip flops on Eric Ten Hag and flip flops on Ruben Amorim. And you know what? That's Gary Neville. And then there was also Roy Keane talking about Sir Alex Ferguson hanging around too long in the club. He actually called Sir Alex Ferguson. He said these words that did not sit well with me. He said he's hanging around like a bad smell. Like, what? How dare you say that about Sir Alex Ferguson? But he said those words. And then from there, we have the Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes saga as well versus Lisandro Martinez, and that also having its own drama right before the derby. And then you're wondering, like, what is going on with our former legends? And then yeah, now Beckham, the Beckham household is what's in the news. We will talk about that. We'll talk about also some things that we can say we extrapolated or learned or saw or liked or maybe even disliked, from AFCON. I want to sort of like, wrap up the very, 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 very amazing preview discussion we had yesterday. Shout out to Joe Blackman, Mark, shout out to Paco, shout out to everybody that pulled up and were a part of that conversation. There was like, Doctor. It was a community wrap up of shout out to wrap up, by the way. It was a community wrap up of and review of AFCON, which I thought was really, really, really nice and free flowing and insightful. So yeah, we're gonna also quickly just check to see if at all there is an actual David Ornstein bomba or something from Fabrizio Romano, because every now and then, I don't know if it's just me, but every now and then I keep on thinking that Manchester United is going to surprise us with a little bit of like, I never expected it, you know, like something like, oh, Manchester United is making a move for Anderson. Something along those lines, something along the lines of like, how like the whatever Mbumo thing happened, how the Sesko thing, how there was a moment where Manchester United just like did the thing. So please, Christopher Vivale, Sir Jim Carrey, whoever, do the thing, man. We need a little bit of an uplift because it's funny because I don't know if I'm the only one. Maybe it's because of the AFCON saga and everything that it's almost like we forgot that we won a derby. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like we forgot that we won a derby versus Manchester City, whom are above us on the table. We should be still at this point holding our mugs, enjoying the smell of the tea that is flavored with Manchester City tears. That is what we should be doing at this very moment. But so we haven't really, really, really done that properly. So shout out to you for joining. If you're just putting up, I appreciate you for being here, by the way. Yeah, we're about to unpack some things, but I was just highlighting the fact or uplifting the fact that we actually beat Manchester City. And if I go to YouTube right now just to see, should we do it? Now we gotta remind ourselves, let's just to see the highlights. We gotta do the thing, we gotta do it. Maybe we'll do it a little bit later because I really want to just quickly check to see the news, just see if there's any major transfer bombas, and then we can see how we feel about this. But we beat Man City, man. Don't forget that. Don't let anybody forget that. Fabrizio Romano with an update about Ethan Nwaneri. He has accepted to join Olympique Marseille. Arsenal also believe it's the best solution on loan. Arteta also spoke with Roberto Di Zerbi, and Olympique Marseille seen as ideal solution. Straight loan deal at final stages, no buy option clause, expected to be agreed soon. Yeah, Nwaneri is a funny one because I I feel like we should have been out there being like, you guys want Xerxes? What about Jay-Z? Xerxes? Anybody want Xerxes? Olympique Marseille, you want a striker, yeah? Somebody that can work well with Mason Greenwood. His name is Jay-Z. Giggity. Seriously, I'm just curious, like, what is our plan with Xerxes? Surely something somewhere has to happen. Or who's the most likely to be moved on? Even on loan this season or sold. It is possible to sell players. Joe Blackman says Zex, he never played with Greenwood. I didn't say he did. But Greenwood is playing for, isn't he play for Olympique Marseille? So that's why I'm saying Ethan Nwaneri, who's accepted to join Olympique Marseille, we just let that door, that opportunity go, when we should have been shopping around Xerxes saying, anybody want a striker? That's all I was saying about that. And say maybe Xerxes could actually maybe good be a good partner with Mason Greenwood. But anyway, um, Fulham in talks to sign Oscar Bob on permanent deal. Oh boy. Look at this. Um, boom, boom. Fulham in talks to sign Oscar Bob on permanent deal for Man City. Good for them. Doesn't bother me. Right? Oscar Bob is like, he's mad. Am I the only one? Joe says maybe we can play Xerxes. Where, bro? I'd rather have Mbomo as the number 2 striker. And then if Mbomo is not firing, then you put Cunha there. Right? SLD is right. Oscar Bob is such a default character name, and he's playing like I don't know. I thought I was in those moments, those highlights. I was like, ooh, what did Pep discover here? But then afterwards, I was like, I'm not really that impressed. I don't know. Maybe somebody else can convince me and show me the light. But I can't see any Oscar Bob light at this moment in time. Shout out to you, Mongezi in the building, by the way. Yale says we are selling Collier to Hull City. They're loaning him with an obligation in the summer. We also sold an academy player to a Turkish club. Okay. All right. There's some movement. If Collier to Hull City is true, like what Yale is saying, then at least there's a little movement. I want movement with a little bit, one of the senior players, Yale. That's when I'm going to be satisfied. At this moment, getting Collier out of United to give him playing opportunity to Hull City is a good move, but it's not a significant enough move. And we need to be moving like a team that sees the opportunity to actually salvage and solidify Champions League position. Isn't that what we said we want Michael Carrick to have as a target? All right then, Ineos, support him then. I won't look at you with a side eye and say, "Oh, where was this for Ruben Amorim?" No, I will not reference him. But I see what you're saying, Lou, man. Saying we haven't forgotten Amorim, his pain and suffering. I don't know if you're trolling me or if you're actually like trying to sympathize. Big up, Blue man. Yale says, forget about it, Botswana. You will not get a senior player moving in January. We need to do something, bro. Yale, otherwise we are literally throwing away an opportunity that is just in front of us. Tammy Abraham, ladies and gentlemen. He is returning to the Premier League. Agreement between Aston Villa and Besiktas is looming. Fabrizio says Aston Villa are advancing in talks with Besiktas to get Tammy Abraham deal done. Agreement sealed with the player as Tammy opens doors to Aston Villa move. Club to club talks moving fast, not done yet, but well underway. Yo, if there's anything about Aston Villa, they try to make things happen. Mongezi says, oh, hold on. Did we rate him when he was still at Chelsea? I actually liked him, and I started seeing a little bit more of him under at Roma. That's the only reason I was like watching Mourinho. I was like, oh, let's see what he's doing with Smalling. Let's see what he's doing with Tammy Abraham. And to be honest, and Matic and Mourinho was actually doing something. So look at Tammy Abraham that people said he's washed. He belongs in the Italian league. Look at him finding his way back. But also something to really recognize is the fact that Aston Villa board moves like an ambitious board. They try to make things happen. It's not too long ago that they pulled in Rashford and Asensio in one window. It's a gamble that maybe you can say, yeah, it didn't work out, but they gamble. They try to make things happen. How are you going to know if it's going to work if you don't try? How are you going to score a goal if you don't take the shot? This Manchester United board is moving like they don't want to take no shots. They don't want to be ambitious. They don't want to like, where is the movement, man? All I'm seeing, we're scrolling right now. Fabrizio talking about Aston Villa. They're talking about other teams, and Manchester United. We are out here singing the song, Valencia, West Ham, making moves. Um, this is crazy. You're seeing the news with me. You're seeing what's going on right now. Arsenal keep monitoring Real Madrid talent Victor Valdepeñas, as revealed in October. Valdepeñas. All right. Maybe it's like they're thinking it's probably like another Martin Odegaard region or something. At least Arsenal is trying to do something. Barcelona authorized Ter Stegen to travel for medical tests at Girona today. Ter Stegen will join Roma on loan. No buy option clause, straight loan.
Here we go.
Confirmed. It's funny, like Ter Stegen. I don't know. I know I'm not trying to like buy everybody or have everybody join us, but like if Ter Stegen was like, all right, I gotta leave Barcelona on loan, no buy option clause. Isn't it better to have Ter Stegen on the bench than have the other guy buying there? It's just a question. We gonna sometimes let all these opportunities slip. And as Ter Stegen, if you want just like one chapter in the Premier League, I bet he'll think about it. Anyway, we're about to wrap up this section of the show and go to um, the other two major topics while we're here. But I just wanted to see what is going on in the news. Have you guys heard about the Man United IMAX experience, by the way? I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Manchester United are considering an IMAX style digital season ticket that would allow fans to stream matches from a specific section of Old Trafford. United are well placed for the project due to their technology sponsorships. What are you saying? IMAX is that it basically you will be experiencing the match as if you're in the stadium. Like you'll be streaming matches from a specific section of Old Trafford. What do you guys think? Is this like outlandish? Is it like gonna how? I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Or is this something that's like, it's okay. It's just cameras. You don't need to be angry about it. Or does it enhance fan engagement? I'm curious. What's the score here? What's the play? Ineos, and also why are we focusing on this when we should be focusing on transfers?
Bomba clout wallahi.
Oh, big up to you, SLD. Just imagine Bunny and IMX. Seems like a good idea. It's definitely gonna give the Glazers a lot of money. Hell yeah, we deserve better. Says I like it. Sign me up. Okay. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Last thing on the trending news is Mateta to Aston Villa is an Ornstein Bomba. So yeah, it looks to be happening according to Yale. Hey, Aston Villa. Aston Villa.
I can see what they're doing, what he's doing. I can see it, I feel it. He's cooking.
I just wish Aston Villa can just surprise us and everybody else messes up and then Aston Villa just wins the title, stumble upon the title. I manifest Aston Villa winning the title this season. Come on, man. SLD, I'm with you. Villa title charge. Also, what the hell is this picture? I'm not like that, but don't push me. Shout out to you. Jonathan says, I just started watching the match of the day because of this team. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Bomba in the Beckham household. So basically, what's happened is that Brooklyn Beckham, he basically he's having some qualms and queries and concerns, and he does not want to reconcile. With his parents. That is David Beckham and Victoria Beckham. So it is a little bit dramatic. This is spicy in the Beckham household. The reason why, I wasn't, as I said earlier on, I did not want to cover it, but there was all these memes, all these things that were coming out about details from the Instagram post. So we might as well just go straight into it and unpack it because it's an essay. I don't want to dwell on it, but my God, it is quite spicy. If anything, it just shows you how weird some families are. Like, sometimes you look at other families that are in the limelight that look like they have a lot of like things figured out, financial things figured. My God. Their families are weird. And I wish I didn't know this about Beckham's family. But here we are, thanks to Brooklyn Beckham's essay. We're not going to read all of it because it is quite lengthy. But I think there's some parts that, will give us an idea of just exactly what former Manchester United legend David Beckham's family is about. Okay, so here we go. It's rare for families to be normal, says etc. Yeah, but it is. This is a different kind of level. Let's check this out. Let's check this out. Uh, El Capitan, I'm frozen. Oh my god. Okay, 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 okay. Let me see if I can make sure that the freezing doesn't happen again. So, boom. Hopefully it's not frozen like this. Okay, all right, all right, all right. So yeah. Where were we? We were about to read the a portion of it. All right. It starts like this. So, maybe I should share with you what I'm reading because I'm not the best reader out there. Boom. Okay, let's see if we've got this. Okay. Boom. Thank you for bearing with my technological issues. It is what it is right now. We were working on it. All right. This is a very long essay. We're not gonna read all of it, but I just wanted to just touch on a few points that I was like, my God, Jesu, how is this normal? How is this some people's lives? So I've been silent for many years and made every effort to keep these matters private. Unfortunately, my parents and their team have continued to go to the press, leaving me with no choice but to speak for myself and tell the truth about only some of the lies that they have been printed. Hey! Is going down in the Beckham household is going down. I do not want to reconcile with my family. I'm not being controlled. I'm standing up for myself for the first time in my life. You know what? We need an applause. For standing up for yourself. For the first time in your life. How can we be mad at that? You know? Exactly, SLD. so shout out to this is, by the way, it's written by Brooklyn Beckham, right? And yeah, Brooklyn Beckham is standing up for himself. Standing up like Senegal, says SLD. So anyway, it keeps on going. For my entire life, my parents have controlled narratives in the press about our family, the performative social media posts, family events, and inauthentic relationships have been a fixture of the life I was born into. Recently, I've seen with my own eyes the lens that they'll go through to place countless lies in the media, mostly at the expense of innocent people, to preserve their own facade. But I believe the truth always comes out. It goes on about the disrespect that Brooklyn has felt, about the disrespect that his wife has felt. It goes on about the time when apparently, hey, this gets juicier. Apparently, there's a moment where it's a wedding, and they're supposed to be at the first dance, and this family is so weird to the point where apparently Victoria Beckham stole the first dance and was dancing in ways that were very, very disrespectful to the groom. And I was like, Jesus is Lord. What? Why would you? First of all, mom's gone bad, SLD. Why would you go to those lengths? Why is this even what? Why is this even happening? It's crazy. The Beckham household needs some prayers. I don't know what you think about this, but this is some real weird things. It gets weirder. There's this particular section that I want us to just like hone in on about, I said this about the first dance at her son's wedding. Apparently Victoria was grinding all over him in front of all their friends and family. Like, you think I'm making this up? Let me show you. Oh my God. We need a resolution. We need prayers. We need redemption for the Beckham household. This part right here. My mom hijacked my first dance with my wife. Huh? I beg your pardon? My mom hijacked my first dance with my wife, which had been planned weeks in advance to a romantic love song in front of our 500 wedding guests. Mark Anthony called me to the stage where is in the schedule was planned to be my romantic dance with my wife. But instead, my mom was waiting to dance with me instead. She danced very inappropriately on me in front of everyone. the I'm like, what? What the hell?
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell,
I'm appalled. I'm weirded out. I'm everything. Like I just don't understand how this is actual reality. And of course, this is like deep family secrets, but Brooklyn Beckham putting it out there in front of the world for everybody to see is just making things just so difficult to just process. And for somebody that had like a lot of respect and admiration for somebody like David Beckham, and who appears to have things like in the spotlight, he owns a football club, not only that, Messi plays there. It's just like there's a lot of things that like you think like, oh, he's got this life thing figured out. But my God, to know that, yeah, this is some of the stuff that they're going through makes you just not even wish to be like rich like that. I would not do that, SLD. Come on now. Did Brooklyn say to his wife, if you want to be
Yo, shout out to Caesar, man.
That was good. That was good. That was good. Anyway, I want to transition to the last topic of the day, which is things that we could say we picked up from AFCON. I want to cleanse the space first by asking you to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so, and also make sure you hit the notification bell.
Yo, it's the football power hour. But Papi Styles got the fire. From the land of
I needed to take a sip of my tea because my God, that's a lot of tea from the Beckham household.
Rivals lurking, they wanna steal. The Red Devils got that iron. they talk too loud.
So with AFCON, I want to quickly just say this, that there is the reason why I was like, oh yeah, let's talk about it in this way. I was looking at a piece that was written by Chris Ogumonede. Ogu Ogunmodede. Sorry for butchering your name, Chris, but Chris Ogumodede wrote something. It's like it was a thing that had things that they liked and disliked about AFCON, and it got me thinking. I was like, yeah, you know what? That drama of the final seemed to cloud everything, you know, and it seemed to be the thing that like um has taken the headlines from like a tournament that had so many other big moments, so many other poignant moments, so many other important historic moments. So shout out to Chris for this, and let's go through it together, because I think it'll be there's some interesting points here, interesting things that are raised, and I want to know your thoughts too. What did you like? What did you draw from AFCON? What is one of the lessons you learned? Or if there's anything you learned. Some people, it's okay too if they didn't learn anything and it's more like you were just entertained. That's totally, you know, valid, because at the end of the day, it's an entertainment, and um, yeah, like, but there's always something you can learn from that entertainment. That's my angle into this. So yeah, so a major thing to remember obviously was the Michelle Mboladinga, the DRC supporter who had the Patrice Lumumba statue that was paying tribute to saying remember Patrice Lumumba. um and he's the country's iconic first prime minister who was assassinated months after the country declared its independence from Belgium. So, this guy held this pose throughout the game, and that was a very, very, very important moment in the AFCON history books. So I think it's always important to just, at least pay tribute and say that was a good moment, because I'm pretty sure some people did not know about Patrice Lumumba, and now you may at least know the name, and that's the first step into knowing a lot about history, a lot about like the people that are important into shaping Africa to um, that are important in just shaping, that held important ideas in the history of Africa. So big up to Patrice Lumumba, and big up to Mitch, the supporter from DRC that brought um, this very important subject to light. I also want to say, so another thing that was very interesting from this review was that, yeah, there was some breakthrough nations like Mozambique and Sudan who, you know what, were not considered big footballing nations, or but they actually put out teams that were very difficult to beat. And Sudan especially progressed to the round of 16 for the first time since 2012, and that was a big step as well for a nation that was that had been devastated by a civil war, that like they made big strides. Sometimes you only recognize the winners, but um these other nations that made progress, and Sudan, and as well as Mozambique as well. Mozambique, they also had a historic upset over, I believe, Gabon. They stand Gabon 3-2, if I'm not mistaken, and that was a big thing. There's also some really, really cool things like the drip, the kids that were really, really good looking kids. I want to show you some that like stood out, that I was like, oh, this is some of the kits that AFCON delivered that I was like, I could see myself wearing this. Let me show you really quickly here. Boom. This right here is, let's see if I can scroll through them like I was doing earlier. Okay, boom. There we go. Some of this kid is cold here. I don't even know what country this is. I forgot. But this is cold. I like this kit right here. This, especially just the top. If you get that's like, yeah. Oh yeah. Algeria as well had a really like my favorite thing about this is like, the subtle, like the gold in inside here is pretty good. And the stripes on the shoulders, fire. Fire. This was also good. Shout out to Cameroon. They usually the Cameroon kids, historically they've always had some some fire kids. I remember one time there's just like, what's his name? Patrice and Bomba. Patrick and Bomba, I believe. They had like some really interesting kids that were fire. Only that the shorts were too short. but they've always had they I remember one time they had like sleeveless, Cameroon really go hard with them kids. Yeah, standard red. Big up Morocco. Yeah. I think maybe my favorite thing about this is the collar is like it's got the green and red in a nice way. It's kind of done nicely. But other than that, it's standard. It's good. Standard good. It's not like exceptional. Oh. Talk to me now, Zambia. Chipolo Polo. Okay. This also has a little bit of like, if you're far away, you can see the stripes. There's some stripes in there. I'm not talking about the ones that are below the logo here. There's stripes in the actual on all of the kit. That's kind of cool. I like fine detail like that for me. We deserve better since the shorts were perfect. Of course, you'll be. Get out of here. Nah. But we deserve better. If you look, the Cameroon shorts I was talking about, they remind me of like when like Cafu was playing, Romario was playing. It's like you might even see like Roberto Baggio type of nah. We're done with those kind of shorts. But this is fire. Shout out to Overhead Kick TV in the building. Says Zambian kid is hard, bro. That copper on mad drip, 100%. Shout out to Zambia for that. Yeah. I not for me, but I think SLD would wear this. SLD would wear this. This one is giving Brazil. Which country is this? This is Gabon? Is this Obama Young? He nearly look like Jesus. Why does he look like he's about to feature in a Jesus movie? Nah. I shouldn't never be saying that. But he looked like he about to be the guy that's like he's Caesar. Yeah, they just copied Brazil, bro, and then called it a day. Come on, Gabon. You can be better. All right. Bandaland. All right. That's cool. That's cool. Doesn't move me. Overhead Kick TV would definitely wear that. What country is this? Is this Mozambique? Or the what? What does it say on the badge? The Comoros Federación de Fútbol de. Yeah, I don't know. It's standard white. Whatever country this is. Yeah, it's weak. It's weak. Definitely weak. They could do better. This guy needs to go to the gym. Oh, he was trying to use his stomach. Okay, yeah, both these are that right. That right. They're okay. They're not necessarily like, you know, like you wear them to play a game. You're not gonna wear them like to a function or like to your friends, like I don't know, party or something. Maybe the one on the right side is I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, we saw some kids. AFCON gave us some pretty good kids. Oh, that's good too, by the way. Oh my God, what country is that? Okay. Okay now. What country is that? Talk about dripping. Yeah, nah, that's he says that brother just shifts legs. Nah, that's good. Yeah. Nah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. And oh, okay. Hell yeah. Senegal representing. Not because they won, but like there's something that's just like cool, wavy. That's a lion, right? In the background. That's a lion. Yeah, nah. Senegal is, they know what they did. That's a winner's kit right there. Exactly. Nah, for real. Anyway, back to the other than the kids, we saw obviously AFCON also giving us some the 4 African coaches that were at the semi-final. I thought this was kind of interesting to look at the fact that there is Eric Chell, who's the coach for Nigeria since 2025. He qualified his home country Mali in the 2013 AFCON. So that means he's done it more than once. Semi-finals more than once. So he's actually a good coach. And then Hossam Hassan, who actually was a player, I think one of the first AFCON that I ever saw, he was playing and he scored the winning goal for Egypt in the final or in the was it the semi-final or the final? He was definitely a quality player. So he's Egypt's. It's no surprise that he's Egypt's all-time top scorer and coach since 2024, which is pretty recent. And then we also know, obviously, Walid Regragui, who made history when he led Morocco to the semis of the World Cup in Qatar and qualified Morocco for the 2026 World Cup. So good manager right there. And another quality manager is the man who's in front of the headlines as well, Pape Bonatiao, national coach of Senegal since 2024 and led the squad to the 2026 World Cup this summer. So it's funny, a lot of these guys have been appointed since 2024, 2025, but they're good coaches, especially for from these four. I was obviously familiar with Walid Regragui, and now I'm more familiar with Pape Thiaw. I knew Hassan as a player, but I didn't know about him as a manager. So we'll be looking to see. For me, I want to see some of these coaches just make their way to La Liga or make their way to Serie A or like Premier League. It'll be nice to have a manager from there, like especially Walid Regragui. I feel like I could see him go to like Fulham or something. I don't know. Just my 2 cents. Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah. Anyway, another thing that I wanna also lift up about AFCON is the fact that other than those four managers, there was something that I mentioned yesterday about the teams that made it to the quarterfinals. You could basically make an argument and say they stand to be favorites in terms of winning the title, the AFCON title. Especially looking at the fact that, let me bring out the names so that we look at them one last time. The teams that made the AFCON quarterfinals. Boom. We had Mali, Senegal, Egypt, Cote d'Ivoire, Cameroon, Morocco, and Algeria versus Nigeria. Most of those teams, you could say, these guys are favorites. So what does that mean? It means that there was not too many upsets other than the ones that I mentioned earlier about Mozambique and Sudan. There might be like 2-3 other ones, but there was not too many upsets. It was almost like a scripted, like the favorites are going to go through, the favorites are going to win. Like I was expecting even like, I don't know, a team like Botswana to do something. I'll be flat and I'll be honest about it and say like, I was expecting, I don't know, Mozambique to be a surprise nation. South Africa to pull off a surprise, especially South Africa. I'm more disappointed in South Africa than Botswana, but I'll let Vegeta address that because it's not my area to speak on that. But I do have family in South Africa, but we'll start soon hearing it if I keep saying this. But like, by his entrance music, right? He might just come in and just like be a problem. But anyway, the point that I wanted to mention was that like it was an AFCON that didn't have a lot of surprises in terms of like, or a lot of upsets. That's really what I want to say. So I look at this, in that perspective, saying it was a bit predictable for the most part. And another thing that also stood out about this AFCON, at least to this person, Chris, is the fact that there was actually such heavy rainfall. Apparently, Moroccan authorities made in-stadium infrastructure and technological investments to make sure that some of the games happened. But there was quite significant investments that, if at all this is true, then shout out to Morocco for doing what they needed to do to make sure that the games happen. It's their job to deal with the climate and analyze that, if we're going to have a lot of rainfall and a lot of pitches are going to be wet, then we got to do what we got to do because we agreed to host this tournament. So we're having all these people from the rest of the world that are coming to watch the tournament. They are here give us that tourism and that resources. So it's part of your duty to make sure that you are investing and making enough advances to prepare, so that the games happen, so that the show goes on. By the way, big up to you if you're just joining in. Thank you for being here. Kindly hit the like button if you haven't. We're just summing up some of the things that stood out about AFCON, some of the things that we saw, and we're being guided by an article here by Chris. I don't want to butcher Chris's last name again, but Ogunmodede, Chris Ogunmodede. Anything else that stood out to you, by the way, please mention it in the chat. The guy, Patrice Motsepe, the South African guy, the tycoon, the business tycoon, who's the CAF president. There's something that Chris mentions here about the fact that the CAF president announced several wholesome changes to the governance of African football. First, the biennial AFCON will be held every 4 years after the completion of the 2028 tournament. So now it'll be a 4-year tournament, as we were talking about extensively yesterday. And then the second, a new African Nations League, which will begin in 2019 and be played annually among CAF's 54 members. It will replace the African Nations Championship. So they're making it into a league. Okay. And then the third change is that CAF will introduce a senior national team competition. Huh? Hear this out. Hear this out. The third change is that CAF is going to organize a senior national team competition that will be played every year. The African Nations League and senior national team competitions will not hold in the years when the FIFA World Cup is played. Okay. Motsepe also announced that CAF would launch a 1 billion commercial tender that would enable the organization to boost the amount it pays annually to each of its 54 federations to $1 million, while the prize money for CAF Champions League and Confederation Cup will be increased. All right. So more money hopefully means more resources, and ultimately we can only pray that it means actual better level of football, because all I'm hearing is Motsepe announcing this and that and this, and it just feels like a lot of waffle. I'll be honest with you. He's the CAF president and he's South African, and I respect the guy. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's a tycoon that shouldn't really be interested in enriching himself through football. So I will at least say most likely he has the best interest at heart of improving African football in the state of it. But I also wouldn't be surprised if some of the stuff that he's talking about doesn't come to pass, Anyway, guys, it's been an hour. What did Beckham do? You gotta go to the back. You gotta go to the beginning of the show. I meant to speak for half an hour, but you know what? Sometimes not every show is gonna be a call-in show. That's just how it is on these streets. This was what's trending with me, Botswana Papi. I appreciate you all for being here and for hitting the like button. Later on, we're doing a members only stream, so please join and be a member, because then that one, the lines will be open. We're going to talk about the chapter 5 to chapter 9 of this book, Patrice Evers. I love this game, so please pull up to that. And yeah, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for hitting the like button. I don't even know how many likes we have. And you know what? It's okay. If you don't hit the like button,
Bomba clot wallahi.
it's all good. I will talk to you soon. More money, more corruption. Mutsuve is a liar, says Overhead Kick TV. Come on, man. Give your brother the benefit of the doubt. You know, let's see what the changes that he announced are actually gonna do. So we will be back later on for Patrice Evers. I love this game. A lot of people have been gifted memberships, so yeah, you know, most people should be able to participate in this, and then we will make it available for whoever. Hold on, let me see if I can also. Boom. Am I able to gift memberships? Let's see. Boom. I just gifted 5 memberships. So you should hopefully, hopefully some people will be able to join. 5 more people will be able to join. So kindly pull up later on. And just like that, we out of here. Peace.
Yo, shout the season, man.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up out of your sleep.